These are your teams that you cheer for on a regular basis. If you want to be a part of it, our phone number is 402-413-2400. You can call or text. We're also up on our YouTube stream. The chat room is alive and well again tonight. The head coach hit on a couple of things, and one of the topics that came up, Jessica, was this team needs to find a way to win away from home. They've been on the road and came up close in all three games, but they're 0-3 on the road, Illinois, Oklahoma, and Michigan State. And to be a good football program and to take that next step up the ladder, you got to find a way to win away from here. Absolutely.
I mean, and I think you can take so much away. A team really grows when you have a hard-fought win on the road, because as great as Husker fans travel, and there's going to be a lot of them there, it's still it's a us against the world mentality. You overcome so much adversity. A team can really grow from those hostile environments, because it's you have to find a way to do it together. You don't have the help of Husker Nation and 90,000 people cheering for you and making things loud for you. You have to do it on your own, and you have to come together as a team and do that. So you can really take a lot away from that. And also, just having conversations throughout this week, Jeremiah and I talked about it on the podcast. This team, as much as it is a new team and a new year, this team remembers what happened a year ago, a couple of years ago, and it's time to kind of rewrite the script on that. And that's what Jeremiah was saying. Nobody in that locker room forgot about what Minnesota did to this team a year ago.
That's right. Huskers won their last two road games last year at Purdue and at Rutgers, and you hope that would have carried over. It didn't at Illinois, and then really good efforts at both Oklahoma and Michigan State. But it's a habit. It can become a habit of getting on the plane and feeling like we're going to go on this plane, we're going to get into a hotel, treat this thing like a business trip, go win and get back and eat our ice cream on the way home and have a good time. And they're right now not kind of in that habit. So I think that's a big part of this.
It's miserable to get on that flight.
It is.
On the way home after a loss. And they all say, you ask any of them, it is not fun to load up on that plane and fly back to Lincoln, but it is a lot of fun after a win.
It sure is. And again, that you want that feeling to start becoming a norm for these guys, so that they, again, feel like they don't have to have the home crowd here to be able to do that. So I think that's, in my eyes, one of the big things about this one, because we have two road games left, this one and then at Wisconsin. And I think both are very winnable games for this team.
Absolutely. And again, the more you kind of start, we've seen it a little bit even with the losses, but the more you put together these performances, then the more you put together the wins, again, that's a snowball effect. And you learn how to win those games. You learn how to go on the road and, come together. And it could be a battle. And even though, I think everyone has all the confidence in the world that Nebraska's going to go win this game on Saturday, it's still going to be a battle. And it's going to be a battle at Wisconsin. And it's one game at a time, absolutely. But you've got to go battle and do everything right to come out with a win. And then you win another one, and it really is. It can be a snowball effect. I think this team and we've been saying it, they need to figure out a way to win one of these, and then who knows what could happen from there.
All right, 402-413-2400. Let's head to the phones. Let's go out to North Platte. Jim, you're up first tonight. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Well, thank you for taking my call. I've got two questions. My first question is, I think your NCAA ruined college football like 4 or 5 years ago. If a guy or girl transferred from college to college, that there was a 1-year penalty, but they don't have to do that. And my second question is, Texas and Oklahoma are going to the Southeast Conference next year. If all the big schools do that, what are they going to do with all these little schools like Kansas and all those little schools, sir?
All right, Jim, appreciate the phone call. Well, the Big 12 has already announced 4 schools that they're going to be adding to their list once Oklahoma and Texas leave, and it's Central Florida, Cincinnati, BYU, and Houston. So they're going to be a 12-team conference once Oklahoma and Texas leave. And Jim, 10, 15 years ago, I probably would have agreed with you about the transfer rule that, sitting out should have been part of it. But I've kind of changed my position on that. I think the one-time transfer is probably okay, and I think that's fine to be able to do that. So I would disagree with you on that. I think it's probably okay that guys and gals now can transfer and play right away.
Absolutely, because you've seen so many instances where maybe there's a family, something happens at home. Maybe, again, when the coaches leave, when the coaches can leave, you're talking about a kid that's 17, 16, 18 years old, picking, a lifelong decision. And a lot of times they make that decision based on the coach that they're about to go play for. And if that coach leaves, you should be able to leave too. So there's a lot of different kind of scenarios that we were seeing that the athletes were, had to sit out for it, and that's not really fair. So the one time, absolutely. Now, when you start to transfer again and again, that's when, yes, you should have to sit out, or lose a year, whatever it might be. But the transfer just the one time, I think you should have immediate eligibility. I like that rule.
The other thing I think that we're starting to learn is just because you want to transfer doesn't mean there's a spot for you to go to.
Absolutely,
I mean, some of these kids are out of scholarship. There are too many people. It's kind of the old musical chairs thing. There aren't enough chairs. If you decide to leave School A because you think B through M is going to offer you a scholarship, and that doesn't happen, then all of a sudden you're like, well, wait a minute, I just gave up a scholarship. Now I don't have it. So you better be careful if you're going to do that.
Yeah, and with the extra COVID year, we're seeing it too. Now, not everyone's, you're not punished, but it's difficult. You especially with, the Olympic sports, and where there's not 100 and whatever scholarships or 85 scholarships, whatever there is with football. So you have to be careful with that there's not always going to be a scholarship available, especially with the loaded rosters, the extra amount of players and personnel that are on each team right now. And that's going to continue to be affected for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, that's a great point, because now the tub is even fuller, because now, you better be careful if you want to just think, oh, I'm going to get out of here because this coach didn't treat me right, or I'm not playing very well. You better be careful. You better have some assurance that somebody's going to take you before you do that. Let's run out to Colorado. Nick, you're up next here on Sports Island. Good evening.
Hey, Greg, thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to ask you what you thought about possibilities for bowl projections. I'm seeing our team probably going to win 6-7 games personally. But I thought I'd get your thoughts on that.
Well, yeah, I still think this team certainly has, and appreciate the call, I think this team has a path to get to bowl eligibility. I think that ought to be the goal for this team right now. Having said that, Jessica, Saturday's pretty big. That probably includes beating the Gophers to get yourself to 6.
Absolutely, and that's a huge goal for this team. And they've been saying that they want to go to a bowl game. And you have talked about it a lot. I've seen it a lot. I mean, that month that you have to prepare for a bowl game is absolutely massive for a team and the future, and getting a team prepared. They say it's kind of like having an extra spring. You can kind of go back to fundamentals, growing players. It's not so much of, hey, we got to hurry, quick turnaround and prepare for another opponent. You have a lot of time in there that you can prepare for an opponent, but also develop some of that young talent. I've heard coaches say time and time again, a lot of time the biggest growth that you see out of players is during that bowl week preparation. So it's absolutely huge. These players want to keep playing. They want to go to a bowl game. It's huge for them, but also for the future. And it is absolutely massive. And so you have got to, again, you got to get there. You got to get that win column there, and one game at a time. This one is absolutely critical for that.
It's almost like having a second spring practice. It's not quite as many, but it's close to that. And so for development of your young players who didn't hit the field this year, massive.
The thing about the bowl games, though, is that there's not a lot of times this spring you have days in between your practices where you can go day, right, back to back to back. Now there is time that you do have to take off, but for the most part you can keep going and string a lot of practices together, as opposed to having a couple days in between or a weekend, whatever it might be. You can keep grinding, and you can see a lot of growth in players during that time. We were talking about Fedoni. What do you do with him? If he becomes available, and where do you, if you want to have him probably available for a bowl game. Right. So if you get to that point where you're getting close, then what do? You
got to set him one other game to make sure you don't get over the 4, because you can't do that now to him. That's just not fair to him.
Well, that's what we were talking about that on the Facebook Live, Jeremiah and I, last week, because the question got brought up, like, where do you? Because you have to think about those 4 games with these young. I love that rule too. Having the 4 games whenever, at any point during the season. So you have a guy that gets injured, then he can come back. You still can maneuver that redshirt rule, but you also have to keep in mind with a bowl game, you probably want him to play in a bowl game. So you might only have 3 games that you have in the regular season.
Gabe Irvin saves his because it happened in Game 4 for him. He'll be fine. Unfortunately for Teddy, he won't. He played in 5 games for the year. Buckle up, put that phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Pretty good performance last night at the Vanny by John Cook's volleyball squad. Sweep in Indiana. Really weren't pushed at all. They continue their really solid play and stay in first place in the league. And it does get a little bit tougher Saturday with Illinois coming to town, but another solid night last night.
Yeah, I think this team is just continuing to grow and hit their stride. I think the more that things come to fruition for them in a match and game-like situations, the more you can kind of continue to build and carry on from that. But it's a fun team to watch. Gosh, there's so many stars. There's so much talent, but yet they work together so well. A lot of times when you have so much talent, it can clash. But this team is working together really well. You can tell they're really starting to come together and enjoy playing together. And I think for so long at the beginning of the season, it was kind of, I got to earn my spot, I got to earn my playing time, and I got to do what I need to do to get out there. But now it's that they've kind of got that settled a little bit. You can grow more as a team and figure that out as the chemistry and playing together and continuing to string those performances together. So, yeah, I mean, I think this team is really starting to come together.
They're in action again Saturday night, 6 o'clock, Illinois at the Devaney Center. Football game will be over by couple of hours, so easily to stay home and watch the Huskers on the tube and listen to us here on the radio broadcast, and then get to Devaney to take in Saturday night's game. Tim mentioned Husker soccer at home tonight. Boy, they really need a win. They've got Iowa 7 o'clock out at Hibner Stadium. Overcast skies, but pretty comfortable night. Maybe light jacket weather to sit out and root on John Walker's Huskers out there tonight. We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll hear some clips from the head coach who met with the media earlier today. Phone lines are open for you as well, 402-413-2400. More Sports Nightly next.
You could win a 2021 Ford F-150 XL four-wheel drive Super Crew truck from the Woodhouse Auto family this season. If the Huskers return the first or second half opening kick for a touchdown, Woodhouse will give away an F-150. New contestants will be chosen each week. For details on how to enter the Woodhouse Auto Family Kickoff Contest and official rules, go to woodhousekickoff.com. That's woodhousekickoff.com.
Both farmers and Division I athletes are alike in that every season presents a new opportunity. Aurora Cooperative does what they always do, which is lean into every new opportunity. They focus on their roots and continue to stay tougher together with their farmer owners. These core beliefs are much like those of committed Husker athletes. Aurora Cooperative leans on their values of a strong work ethic to get any job done for their producers. Aurora Cooperative, tougher together.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Finally, it's time to tailgate, to find your spot in a sea of red, to get together with family and fans, and to share what makes Husker football season the best. This season, share Valentino's Tailgater tradition with their Big Red Double Jumbo deal and get 2 one-topping jumbo pizzas for only $17.79 each. Order yours at valentinos.com. Some restrictions apply. See store for details. Valentino's, the official pizza of the Huskers. Go Big Red.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse. Our team is ready to help you shop, finance, buy, and deliver your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home or one of our 17 dealerships, you're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Plus, with our selection, finding your next vehicle just got easier. From new to pre-owned, work trucks to third-row SUVs, we've got something for everyone. Start shopping your way at woodhouse.com or visit a Woodhouse dealership near you.
Did you know that cigarette butts make up a large portion of microplastics in the ocean, which end up in 70% of seabirds and 30% of sea turtles? Bank of the West is helping to solve this problem by not financing big tobacco, proving that what a bank chooses not to finance can be just as important as what it does. Learn more about what we do and don't finance at bankofthewest.com/change. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's football season. Husker Nation and Famous Dave's is here to make your tailgate, house party, or get-together famous. Award-winning and house-smoked St. Louis-style ribs, Texas beef brisket, Georgia chopped pork, and house-made sides like our Wilbur beans, creamy coleslaw, and Dave's cheesy mac and cheese will surely tackle any barbecue craving. Visit famousdaves.com for all your catering and online ordering needs, or come visit us at our locations in Lincoln and Bellevue.
Pivot control has never been easier. T&L Irrigation now offers a new control panel called Precision Point Touch. It's a full-color 7-inch graphic touchscreen that's easy to use and gives you lots of great tools to make your irrigation faster and more efficient. Set up your pivots the way you want. You can update your older controls to the new Precision Point control panel too. Call your local T&L dealer or visit TLIRR.com. T&L Irrigation, like no other.
When you're ready to pursue a career-building college degree, go with the school you know and trust, the University of Nebraska. And if you need the flexibility, convenience, and affordability of an online degree program, you can go online with the University of Nebraska. With courses developed specifically for the online learner by our 4 regionally accredited NU campuses, it's a valuable online education for your very real-world future. Go to online.nebraska.edu to learn more.
Coming soon, Come and Go's fresh and flavorful new menu. Yeah, see if you can stop thinking about that. Come on, keep listening. Try to ignore it. You're thinking about it, aren't you? Come and Go's new menu is coming soon and is so delicious, it's distracting. Come and Go, a fresh perspective. Come and Go.
We're back in our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres Equipment, Nebraska's premier John Deere dealer with 27 locations across Nebraska and into Kansas. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Thursday night. If you want to be a part of the program, 402-413-2400. I see you've been trying to organize a picks segment in the chat room.
Yeah, so the guys are with us every single week, and they follow along, and they make the picks as we go. But something that was brought up, I think, last week about, hey, we should make our own picks. And so I think they're going to make their picks, and someone is going to keep tabs of it, and then we're going to announce the winner with us every week. Sweet. So that'll be fun. So if you're listening on the radio and want to hop in on the YouTube chat picks segment, get on there, let them know your picks, and it should be fun.
Cool. We're doing our picks tomorrow night here on the program. All right, the head coach met with the media today. He does every Thursday to kind of finish off the week and little nuggets here and there about the upcoming matchup. He was asked about what's the team's energy been like this week.
It's been good. They go to work the same way every week. They know they got basically 3 days left, and they get a break. So everything we got will be poured into this one.
One thing that I think is pretty certain is this has been a good, and some folks may hate to hear this, but they've been a good practice team. I think they come to work. not a lot of messing around. I think that the coaches, for the most part, have been really happy with the way this group prepares themselves.
It's incredible that, the way that they've lost some of these games, and you could very easily, pretty much probably any team in America, and it would be understandably so, could get hung up on some of the way that these games have ended and feeling like, oh, we should have won that game. But they have been able to close the chapter very quickly. And even Northwestern, I mean, they caught a lot of people, caught a lot of the nation's attention with what they did to Northwestern, and they didn't get hung up on that one either. So I feel like just the way that they've been able to shut the door and move on has been very impressive.
You and I touched on the other night about weeks like this, you really have to rely on leadership among the team. Here's the head coach talking about what kind of leaders he thinks his football team has become.
Yeah, we got the best leadership we've had. Damien's doing a great job. Austin's doing a great job. Adrian's doing a great job. Deontay, all the guys that you would expect are doing a great job and keeping everybody in line.
That answer doesn't surprise me.
No, not at all. I mean, this leadership group, and even though there's captains, there's a big group of leaders, and they all are so connected, and they all really, really like each other and play for each other, and that just, again, it's contagious for an entire football team.
It does. It kind of fingers its way out through this team. Okay, let's talk about the Gophers a little bit. He was asked about Minnesota's run game. Minnesota's not only down their leading tailback, but their number 2 tailback also got hurt in the Purdue game. He is out, so they're down to their number 3 tailback. How might that affect the Minnesota run game, and what about that run game? Here's the head coach.
Yeah, they don't do a whole lot of things. They're just good at what they do. Got some really big guys up front. They've had some great backs and some answers off the run. So our defense got to be ready to do the best they can against the run and make sure to not get hit with anything tricky.
I do expect Minnesota to try to hang with the run. I think they'll maybe throw it a little bit more now that they're down to number 3, but I think they'll try to be fairly balanced.
Well, Jeremiah brought up, I mean, it's up right now, the sideline scoop with Searles about, Minnesota's not built to play from behind. So, and they're the last in the Big Ten in passing
yards.
Passing offense.
Yep.
They do not throw the ball much, and they don't do it well. And so if they get behind, they're going to be in trouble. So, yeah, I think they're going to try to run it as much as they can because they have not thrown it well.
They are only averaging 141 per game through the air. That is 16 yards behind Illinois, who we know is not great throwing the football through the air. All right, you and I talked about playing on the road and trying to start making it a habit of winning on the road. Here's the coach talking about taking his team out on the road again this week.
Yeah, we got to try to win one on the road. We've had a lot of away games, haven't been here much. Look forward to being here more with the fans that we have and the environment right now. The guys are used to being on the road, and we played some good teams on the road. So this is another one and another big challenge.
Jessica, will be the Huskers' 8th game, and it'll be 50-50, 4 on the road, 4 at home so far. That's pretty odd. Usually by now you've had 5 home games and 2 road games. This has been an odd schedule.
Well, again, the last 2 have been at home, so it's like it feels like we've been on the road a bunch already.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we have. And I think that's also kind of a note to think about, too. At Oklahoma, absolutely the crowd was a factor for especially those first couple of series for the offensive line because they hadn't played in a loud stadium like that. I think maybe a little bit. So I think they're ready for it now. I think you had a lot of young guys that you think about last year, they didn't play in front of a crowd. So even though they've maybe played football for Nebraska, they're still kind of figuring out how to play in front of a crowd for some of these young guys. So I think now that they've got a couple, Illinois was not a great crowd.
No.
So you have those 2 at Oklahoma, at Michigan State. Now they'll know kind of a little bit what to expect. I think they'll be a little bit more prepared for that road environment this time around.
And final thing from the coach, the Gophers defensively are really good against the run. They're only giving up 77 yards per game on the ground. Overall, their team defense, bottom third of the defensive efficiency. They're 9th in the league. That's not great. So here's the head coach talking about the Gophers on defense.
They're just really sound. Last couple years, they've really packed the box and made it really tough on us to run it. So we got to do a good job coming off the ball and creating things and trying to get things on their secondary.
So those are some final thoughts from the head coach as he met with the media earlier today. as they get ready to prepare. Huskers will fly up to Minneapolis tomorrow, get a good night's sleep, and go play at 11 a.m. Back to the 11 a.m. games.
Back to an 11 a.m. game, which a lot of the players like and
Yep.
prefer. I talked to Nuri, and he was like, man, it kind of sucks playing tonight because we got to sit around all day, and there's so much anticipation and build up. And so you have to conserve a lot of energy. You have to be really conscious of that and not, get too amped up and conserve it throughout the entire day. So I think for a lot of players, they prefer getting up and getting it going and getting it over with.
They practice in the morning.
Yeah.
So by 11, which is kickoff, they're done with their practice sessions during the week. So for them, their bodies are used to getting up and getting going early. And I think Nebraska's played well at night. All three of those night games, Nebraska played pretty good football. No, they lost 2 of the 3, but they were good. They were good games.
Yeah, they did. They had a great game plan, and I think, like you said, they'll be conditioned and ready to go at 11 a.m. as well. They've played Oklahoma good at 11 a.m. too. So
yeah, they did. All right, there's the comments from the head coach earlier today. Again, Mike Dawson will be with us next hour. It's our football coaches show. He handles the outside linebackers and special teams. We'll talk to Coach Dawson coming up at the top of the hour. This season, share Valentino's tailgater tradition with our Big Red Double Jumbo deal. Get 2 one-topping jumbo pizzas for only $17.79 each. Order yours online at valentinos.com. Valentino's, the official pizza of the Huskers. Go Big Red. Phone lines are open for you, 402-413-2400. Call or text. Also, the chat is up and rolling as well. If you want to get in there and ask some questions, we can fire those at us or Coach Dawson coming up next hour. When we come back, Austin Allen. Jessica talked to him early in the week. We'll hear that conversation straight ahead.
if you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Welcome to Ag Answers. Today we're talking about renewable biofuels like corn ethanol and soy biodiesel. Electric vehicles continue to make headlines as we look for ways to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. But did you know by using ethanol, you can reduce greenhouse gas emissions by up to 46% compared to traditional gasoline and by up to 86% when you use biodiesel compared to petroleum diesel? Locally produced biofuels are the here and now solution to combating climate change. They are good for our air, good for our wallets, and good for Nebraska. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Isn't it about time to add a new piece of Husker gear to your closet? Check out the new 255 collection, inspired by the legendary coach Tom Osborne. With the mission to connect style with Nebraska pride, 255 was designed with the fan in mind. From Hastings to Lincoln, coach to statesman, leader to legend. Thomas William Osborne, it's all in the name. It's all in the numbers, 255 wins. This is TWO 55. Get yours today at shop.huskers.com or other participating retailers. For more information, visit huskers.com/255.
Hello, I'm Tom Osborne.
And I'm Coach Frost.
Statistics prove that youth who are mentored and receive support and guidance from a caring adult show measurable improvement in academic achievement, motivation to succeed, and hope.
Over the past 30 years, Teammates has served more than 43,000 youth, and right now there are more than 1,000 waiting for a Teammates mentor to visit with them once a week in school.
For more information on how you can help the Teammates Mentoring Program, please go to teammates.org, and thank you for supporting our youth.
Sponsored by Nebraska Crossing Fast Cash app.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Score a game-winning drive when you buy your next vehicle at Sid Dillon Chevrolet. As a Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles, including medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Whatever vehicle fits your needs, we're here to make the purchase process easy. Visit our Chevy locations in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo. Plus, shop our full inventory at SidDillonChevy.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
It's football season. Husker Nation and Famous Dave's is here to make your tailgate, house party, or get-together famous. Award-winning and house-smoked St. Louis-style ribs, Texas beef brisket, Georgia chopped pork, and house-made sides like our Wilbur beans, creamy coleslaw, and Dave's cheesy mac and cheese will surely tackle any barbecue craving. Visit FamousDaves.com for all your catering and online ordering needs, or come visit us at our locations in Lincoln and Bellevue.
Hello, I'm Tom Osborne.
And I'm Coach Frost.
Statistics prove that youth who are mentored and receive support and guidance from a caring adult show measurable improvement in academic achievement, motivation to succeed, and hope.
Over the past 30 years, Teammates has served more than 43,000 youth, and right now there are more than 1,000 waiting for a Teammates mentor to visit with them once a week in school.
For more information on how you can help the Teammates Mentoring Program, please go to teammates.org, and thank you for supporting our youth.
Sponsored by Nebraska Crossing Fast Cash app.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Great job, everyone. Printers, great coverage. Phones, quick pickups. Firewall, tough defense. And network, way to carry the whole team. Ever since Marco started calling our technology plays, we work smarter and our whole game is more streamlined. Marco's all-star services and support give us the winning edge. Find out what your technology could be saying at marconet.com.
You could win a 2021 Ford F-150 XL four-wheel drive Super Crew truck from Woodhouse Auto Family this season. If the Huskers return the first or second half opening kickoff for a touchdown, Woodhouse will give away a F-150. New contestants are going to be chosen each week. For details on how to get yourself entered, you go to the Woodhouse Auto Family Kickoff Contest. The official rules are at huskers.com/Woodhouse. This week's winner, Barbara Schaefer from Alliance. Good luck, Barbara. Congratulations to her. We wish her luck. Hopefully the Huskers bust a big one.
Greg, listen, I just had a thought. We had a lot of those conversations after the Garth Brooks concert about what artist could fill this place. Justin Timberlake could have a good shot at it.
Maybe. Yeah, he probably could. He's a crossover guy. Yeah, he probably could.
And we just heard a little JT coming out of break. It made me think Justin Timberlake might be a good option.
That'd be cool.
He puts on a great show.
Yeah, he does. He does put on a really good show. Chris Stapleton, who I like, is at PBA tomorrow night.
Oh.
But we're out of town, so
darn.
Can't go. I like him.
He was
It's kind of nice seeing concerts come back, right? Because they went away for like a year.
Yes, absolutely. Last night, CMT had their Artist of the Year or whatever, and Chris Stapleton was one of them. They had some concerts. But, yeah, it's you kind of forgotten. A lot of them talked about that they had to do a lot of stuff virtually or streaming, but it's so nice to be in front of fans again.
Sure is. Great to have him back. So PBA will get going again. PBA is going to be rocking in a couple of weeks with men's and women's basketball in there as well. All right, Austin Allen, one of our favorite guys on this football team. You had a chance to catch up with him earlier this week as they get prepared for the Gophers.
Yeah, always fun to talk to Austin, and we heard Coach Frost talking about a leader, but he has such a good perspective and a good feel for this team and where they're at each and every week. So here is Austin Allen at the press conference earlier this week.
I like the energy we had at practice today. I think there's a lot of guys that are eager and hungry to get a win back in the win column. I mean, Michigan was a really good football team, and we battled, but it's over now, and we're 0-0 now. So now we're on to Minnesota.
What is it about this team that you guys, no matter the outcome, have been able to kind of close a chapter and move on each week?
It says a lot about our team. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep throwing hooks left and right, no matter what's thrown at us. And I think the biggest thing about our team is our understanding that what's happened in the past is in the past, and what we can control is what we have in front of us. And I think the mentality, everybody understands that the biggest game of the week is the one this week, and that's everybody's mentality, and I think that's been working for us this year.
What were some of the things, like, because in the second half, really you guys started clicking and started getting some things going offensively. What were some of the things that you guys can really take away from what was working in the second half?
Mm-hmm. You're right. There's a lot of things that worked in the second half, but going into the first half, I was confident, and I think a lot of the guys were confident. We're confident because we had a lot on our play call sheet that we still needed to call, and we had a lot of firepower in our back pocket. So we were confident in that regard, and it worked out in the second half. So there's a lot of things we could take from the second half in terms of execution and learning from and seeing how it works versus this typical type of defense. And, yeah.
I feel like this offense is, because, I mean, again, what you did against Northwestern, and then you put another one in the second half against Michigan, and continuing to kind of build those performances. How big is that?
Yeah, it's huge for us. I mean, we were able to run kind of a different style of offense, really, versus Northwestern. And versus Michigan, they lined up the defense in a different type of way, and it allowed us to go in our back pocket with some stuff that we learned in fall camp and earlier in the season. So it was good for us to kind of expand our playbook a little bit, so to say.
And with the kind of changing a little bit of the offensive line, you and Travis, what role do you guys play in continuing to help protect Adrian?
Yeah, Adrian's a baller. He's going to make plays and he's going to make throws, but he needs time. And the addition of us being able just to maybe chip and get out is going to help the tackles, and it's going to give Adrian more time. It's going to give him more time to get this offense rolling.
If fans or outside world might be worried about the psyche of this football team, it seems like you guys continue to grow in confidence and kind of, again, the belief in each other as this goes along, even though maybe the scoreboard doesn't come out the way you hope for it or believe that it would each week.
Yeah, if you've been around this program for more than 2-3 years, you can tell that this mojo and this vibe that we have going around the stadium right now is a lot different. And I think that's because guys see how close we are. I'll use that word that nobody wants to say anymore. We're a close football team. We're a really good football team, and people see that, and people are hungry to be a part of it.
What about as you started kind of diving into the film against Minnesota, what are you seeing out of them?
The thing I see about Minnesota is they're a physical, disciplined football team, and I think that's the thing that's got us the last couple of years is they've come out and been the more physical team in those two particular days. So we have to win that battle on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week of being a more physical football team, and it'll show up this weekend for us.
You feel like this, just the physicality of his football team, though, is right there with anybody in the country, right? I mean, Jeremiah talks about it all the time, how much this has grown, and nobody's going to out-physical this team. Do you guys go into every game kind of believing that?
Yeah, that's our motto. We got to be the most physical team on the football field, and if we are, the good things will happen for us.
And then just the way you've approached the last couple of weeks, well, really each and every week, what kind of goes into that preparation to be ready to roll come Saturday?
Yeah, it's there's a lot of times in practice when we're going one's offense versus one defense, and it's a battle on who's the tougher team. I mean, we're going to bring it to them, they're going to bring it to us, and knocking heads for 3 straight days is going to tell who's going to be the tougher team this weekend.
So yeah, right there, kind of what we've been talking about. You can hear it right there. It's a team that's got the right mindset, the right attitude, and they move forward and are approaching this week like they needed to.
One thing that we talked about on the broadcast Saturday night was it looks like Adrian's kind of figured out when I'm looking for Austin, just throw it high. Let that 6'9" guy go jump up and grab it like a rebound, right?
If you miss his Cornhusker conversation, I posted it today as a podcast. Actually, his first love was baseball, but he played basketball. But
good basketball player.
He can post up and just give it up there. He'll go get it.
Right.
And he talked about how much that has played into the football player he became, and that really translated to him. His footwork, his being physical, going up and getting the ball. But yeah, he was a baseball player. That was his first love, was baseball. Second baseman.
I think he thought he would play college basketball when he was in high school, and then football kind of got going, and I think that's the right move. I think he can play in the NFL. I do.
He said that was the only thing that would have, once Nebraska offered him a football scholarship, the only thing that he might have thought twice about was if Nebraska basketball gave him an offer.
Right, which was interesting. A couple years ago, the Huskers were so shorthanded that they had to go get a couple of football players to fill out a roster when they went to the Big Ten tournament. And Noah Vedra, who now is at Rutgers as the quarterback, Noah was a great high school basketball player. He was one of them, and Brant Banks was the other one who played. I don't know why Austin. Maybe the coaches didn't want to sign off on letting Austin go do that.
Yeah, he would have been a help, you would think.
Yeah.
Get some size in there.
Big 6'9". Adrian threw it up to him last week. I was glad to see that. Hopefully we see more of that in the coming weeks. Good chat with Austin. We love to hear from him. 402-413-2400. That's the number to dial us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. Or if you want to jump in that chat room, it's up. Our YouTube stream is up and rolling tonight. The guys are making their picks for games. It looks like they're getting all fired up and ready to make picks.
Yep, they were making all the picks, and now they're adding to our conversation about what artist could fill the Memorial Stadium.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. We haven't hit that topic for
How about John Pines just landed in Minnesota? You think there's going to be a decent Husker?
There's going to be a bunch of Husker fans up there. It'll be cool. It'll be neat to see all the Husker fans up there. Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free. It's easy. It's the law. Phone lines are ringing. We'll take some calls next.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. For the fourth year in a row, the University of Nebraska system ranked as one of the top 100 institutions worldwide in earning U.S. patents. The NU system was granted 38 patents, and of those, 27 were awarded to UNL researchers. The result? New startup companies, jobs, and university licensed products that grow Nebraska's economy.
You trained for this all year. Endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand. Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance, all without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
At Subaru, they love building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The redesigned 2021 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. An upgrade in horsepower means you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru. Visit DeToe Subaru at 27th Street and Jamie Lane in Lincoln or at DeToeSubaru.com. Upgraded horsepower available on select models.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Much like the values of the people of Nebraska, Nebraska Realty was built on the principles of hard work, dedication, and doing things the right way. They believe strongly in the power of creating lasting relationships and the value those relationships hold. Their success is based on trust and the relationships created with the people and communities they serve across the state of Nebraska. There really is no place like Nebraska Realty.
Addie's Sports Bar and Grill is the place to watch Nebraska games this season. Locally owned and operated, Addie's is Omaha's premier sports bar with 4 locations in Elkhorn, Maple Street, Millard, and the new flagship Capitol location in downtown Omaha. If it's Husker game day, it's on at Addie's. Addie's Sports Bar and Grill is Omaha's official watch party spot with game day giveaways, prizes, fun, and more surprises later in the season. Addie's Sports Bar and Grill. See you there for the game.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres Equipment, Nebraska's premier John Deere dealer with 27 locations across Nebraska and into Kansas. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you until the top of the hour. Football show in hour 2. Mike Dawson will be here. Looking forward to talking to Coach Dawson about outside linebackers and special teams. And we'll certainly be taking calls next hour. A lot of calls wanting to get at us here. Let's start with Patrick in Lincoln. Good evening, Patrick.
Hey, good to talk with you. I have a great story. One of my best friends is Tom Linebacker, who coached Austin in Aurora for basketball. And I remember when he was a sophomore, Tom would say, he's a great kid, and he's going to end up playing for Nebraska. And we actually played a game last week, and he was telling me what a great kid he was, how good he was to everybody around him, and his parents were too. He's just a wonderful human being and was so happy. But Tom, you say he goes, he was just giant out there. Tom, when Austin played, they went to state every year, but never could quite put it off.
Yeah, they had some really good high school teams. Thanks, Patrick, for the phone call. They did have some really good high school teams when he was growing up, and they were dominant. They've not been as good since he and a couple of that group that left out there. But you're right. He's a great young man. I know his brother a little bit. He's a good guy. Don't know his parents, but they've done a great job raising Austin. I'll say that.
He's, again, one of my favorites. I enjoy getting to talk with him every time. He's a great interview as well.
Yeah. All right, let's stay in Lincoln and chat with Richard next. Hello, Richard. You're up on Sports Highly.
Good evening. You've been talking about immediate eligibility when players transfer, and I've kind of lost track of what happened to Luke McCafferty. I know he transferred from Nebraska, went to one school. I think he was there briefly, went to another school. Where is he? What's going on?
Yeah, he's at Rice. He's playing for the Rice Owls. Okay. Well, Richard must have hung up. Yeah, he's at Rice, so that's where he is. Let's chat next with Dunn in Lincoln. Dunn, you're up next.
All right, is Ben Steely making the trip to Minneapolis?
Yes. Yeah, I saw him after the game. He was hobbled a little bit, but I'm pretty sure he is going to be traveling.
Yeah, I think, and Jeremiah said he was good to go when he reported on him in the game that he could have gone back in last week. So.
Yeah, so as far as we know, he will be there.
And he was walking around signing autographs. After the game, he was. There was a young kid. I told the story the other night. He was hollering at him, and he made the way all the way back out there to take a picture. Yeah, it was awesome.
Good for him.
Dunn? This is the best sports show in the nation.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Awesome. Thanks.
Dunn, thanks for the phone call. Yeah, Ben got nicked up, but he's a tough cuss. If he can play, he'll be there. But
college forever. That's what Jeremiah calls him, right?
College forever. Tim had this in the ticker that the NCAA is on the cusp of expanding the women's basketball tournament from the current 64-team field to 68. The men have been 68 for 10 years, maybe with their first 4. It's a good move, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely. And we saw earlier as well that they're going to, say March Madness with the women's tournament too. It's just, all these steps in the right direction. It was just such a fiasco in the spring how it was not equal and all the things that it was not done right. And so, again, to get it on even playing field and to have the women's be equal to the men, that's just another step to get those first 4 in, March Madness, all of those things.
They're not going to do it the same way where they're going to send 4 games like in a different location. I think it's Dayton usually for the men. They're just going to put them at the top seeds location, so that's where they will go. So the 4 top seeds will have an extra team in their bracket.
But I think just giving another opportunity for these schools to get in and to even just have that experience. And, maybe it's a first-time team. Maybe it's a non-Power 5 or some of those teams that just have to have the automatic bid. You get another opportunity to get in and play your way in.
I think the Huskers are certainly going to have a great chance on the women's side to get in the tournament. I need to see more of the men before I go that far down the road.
We got 2 NCAA tournament teams in Lincoln.
I think the women are definitely an NCAA tournament team going into this year. Excited. The fact they just posted some video of somebody hit a little walk-off jump shot to win a scrimmage matchup earlier today. I saw that on Twitter just a little bit ago. Austin Allen, back to him real quick. We need to set up a little golf match between a couple of those guys because they're all claiming that they're the best golfer on the team.
Yeah, I've been hearing about it since I got here in the summer. I started doing some podcasts, and they were there's this debate going on who's the best golfer, and apparently, Travis Vokalek, Austin Allen, we need to get the match going,
Yes.
Husker football edition.
Was there somebody else that's in that mix?
Cam
too?
Jurgens
Cam
and
Jurgens.
Adrian Martinez. It's the four of them that would play all
Okay.
the time. They'd switch up the teams.
That should be easy to do. Put a little foursome together and let those guys go
That would
out
be
and-
great. A great television stream or whatever we got to do. A feature. We need to put that down. Maybe one of these bye weeks coming up, if we get a nice day, we can set that up. I don't think they would refuse to do that.
Might have to be a spring event. That's okay. We can get this done before they all take off and get out.
We got to do. We got to settle the debate once
Yeah,
and for all.
I agree.
Hey, Greg, I got to go vacuum my apartment, so you have fun in the next hour.
All right, very good. Yep, we got Coach's Show. Coach Dawson's in the house. We'll talk about the outside linebackers, little special teams. Get your questions, comments ready for the coach. That's on the other side.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's Game On at Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont, featuring our winning combination of Buick SUVs and GMC trucks and SUVs. And as a GMC Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles for your business needs. For the convenient and easy way to shop for your next vehicle, just visit our Fremont location or check out our full inventory at SidDillonBuickGMC.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
We are professional grade.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Hello, I'm Tom Osborne.
And I'm Coach Frost.
Statistics prove that youth who are mentored and receive support and guidance from a caring adult show measurable improvement in academic achievement, motivation to succeed, and hope.
Over the past 30 years, Teammates has served more than 43,000 youth, and right now there are more than 1,000 waiting for a Teammates mentor to visit with them once a week in school.
For more information on how you can help the Teammates Mentoring Program, please go to teammates.org, and thank you for supporting our youth.
Sponsored by Nebraska Crossing Fast Cash app.
Here we go again. The celebrating, the accolades. Ever since we added Marco to our team, our technology can't lose. Day after day, success after success, Marco's made our business IT a force to be reckoned with. The only drawback of being technology all-stars is keeping champagne away from the electronics. Find out what your technology could be saying at marconet.com.
Live from Acres Broadcast Center inside East Stadium, this is the Nebraska Football Show. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Two each way, back to throws. Polinski now being rushed. Gets hit, goes down. Another sack. Ball's out. And they still lose at the 10. And picked up by Northwestern at the 11-yard line. Garrett Nelson, another sack for the Huskers. Clear back inside the 20-yard line. They'll mark the football to the 18. Huskers send a little pressure. Ford gets hit and goes down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Another 3 and out. Coming up for the Black Shirts, Darius Payne's third sack of the season.
Here is your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Show for the week. We are delighted to have Mike Dawson with us. He coaches Huskers outside linebackers, also special teams. We'll touch on both of those topics tonight. You and I are older guys. It takes us a little more time to probably get over games like Saturday night than some of your young guys in your room. But, man, I love the effort by the Huskers in that game.
Yeah, the guys are working hard. They're playing hard. Everybody wants to see the wins, and that's why we do this. They invest so much. That's why it's so much joy, and it's kind of euphoric when you win. And then the opposite is true. When you invest as much as you do, like these guys do, it hits you real hard when you're not successful. So we got to get on the right side of those games here and get ourselves over the hump with it.
How much? And maybe you're in the moment. You can't step back and look at it, but can you appreciate how much better you are now than you were 2 months ago?
Yeah, the guys, you think that, you have a plan, you go through training camp, and then you look at each week. This sport's a little different. Some of the other sports, you may have 2 or 3 or 4 games in a week. For us, you have 1 game a week, and leading up to that game, you kind of train yourself. And you're working a system, and you're working on your techniques and your fundamentals, also whatever you're going to tweak or change for a particular opponent that you're going to play. And you train yourself to get better and better throughout the course of the week. And then hopefully when you stack 6 or 8 of those, and after training camp, you can see the guys get better at what you want to do and what you want to accomplish. So we try to make sure that we, at least in my room, we're working on the same techniques and fundamentals, and we're not trying to, you do a lot, you do a little, one of those things where you're trying to, you do one drill one time and then you don't do it again. We try to, go back over and over and work the same things, get better at it, what we think are important, and the guys are doing a nice job with that.
There's an old saying that film don't lie. Yeah, I know you don't use film anymore. It's some of the deal that they use. But when you turn that on, I mean, you have to have a lot of good things you're showing your room every Monday when you break it down.
There's some good. There's some stuff that's not good, and we look at both. Just what you said. It's not film anymore. Everything's digitalized, and computer. And one of the things that's great about it is that you can really pick and choose what you want to show. So it kind of maximizes your meeting time, and really you can pick out the plays that, hey, this was something that you did well. We need to do that more of. There's some that, hey, this was you made a complete bust, or this was an error here, or what were you thinking on this one, and you could talk about those. And then the ones that are in the middle. Hey, this was pretty good, but you could have done this a little bit better. You could have stepped like that, or your eyes could have been here, or your hands could have been there. And then you're able to be more efficient in your meeting, having that stuff. And then the technology that goes along with this stuff, it forces you to, we can't get too old, like you said. I'm an old guy that, it's funny how the technology seems to gravitate towards the younger guys, but it forces you to stay on top of that, and it's really, you're able to use that technology as a great learning tool. You feel like, the way they have it now, it's like the old John Madden. You can draw, tell it straight right there in the meetings, and you draw it with lines instead of using the old laser pointer or things like that, which makes it, I think, a little bit easier for the guys to see and visualize. So all that stuff's been pretty good.
If I walked in your room and said film, probably all your players would look at me like, what is he talking about? Just dating myself with that comment there. We heard a highlight of Garrett Nelson. Tell me about, in your eyes, where he's grown and where can he still go as a player?
Yeah, I think that he's a guy that he's starting to get some reps banked, and it's something that's being able to, he's being able to grow on the experiences that he had. I think, when I watched the film his first year here, I wasn't part of the staff. When I came back last year and was able to watch and study him, he kind of reminded me of a Tasmanian devil. He was running around a million miles an hour, but you never knew where he was going to go or where he was going to end up. So for him, kind of learning, hey, this is where you need to be, and this is how you fit into a defensive scheme. I think that was something that he needed to learn a little bit. I think that he has done that, and you guys have heard me probably say this before. I mean, he takes it very seriously. He studies film, as you said, he strains like he does on the field to do that, and works hard at doing that, and is very diligent when he does it. So I think that helps him. I think that there's also times where it's okay to do your job, and that's how you maybe have made the plays that you've made. You've done your job, you've executed, and then you're going to have your opportunities to make some plays. And then when you press, just like anything else, and you try to you kind of get out of your lane and try to do too much, sometimes that's when you make mistakes. So it's a fine line of being a guy that's going to sell out and understand where you're going to fit into the scheme, and then when the opportunity is there, you make your play. But at the same time, you don't want to be caught out of position trying to do somebody else's job or make somebody else's or make an extra play. Just do your job, and that's something that he's really embraced, and I think he's taken a big giant step in the right direction. And I'm looking forward to being able to coach him for a little while longer here, and watch him continue to grow, because I think the sky's the limit for a guy like him.
Has he become a leader on that team?
Yeah, I think the guys just respect how hard that he works so much. I think he's learned how to, kind of show as well. He's a guy that's not afraid to be vocal. I mean, he'll certainly, speak up in the room, but he's also kind of still a younger guy, and everybody's probably jacked up time-wise with the last year's year not counting. And but really, if you take a step back, he's a sophomore, so he's still got a couple more years to be able to do that if so chooses. And I think he's learned that way, and to kind of, hey, not only am I going to talk about it, but I'm going to show how hard I work. We're able to talking about the technology. We're able to measure these guys when they practice using GPS systems, and it's pretty common nowadays, I think, with teams. But how much they're running, how fast they're running, when they're starting, when they're stopping, when they're hitting something, when they're getting hit by someone or something. So we're able to track all of that. We call that a load, and his loads are every single day at the top. So I think that makes it a lot easier when you have a lot of credibility. Hey, this is how hard I'm working every single day. It's not once in a while. It's every single time. And it gives him a lot of credibility, and allows him to be able to be a guy that leads.
And does anybody want to challenge him in that room for that particular honor of having the most activity in a practice?
Oh, they're 100%.
Really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, as far as working at practice, and everybody's doing the same drills, and we get relatively close to the same reps. Caleb Tanner's done a great job of recognizing the importance of how that has affected the play, and I think that those two guys challenge each other, and then you're never going to be a guy that's you're never going to meet a guy that's want to be at the top of that list more than Damian Jackson. So we joke about his age and him being an old guy, and everybody knows what his life experiences are, but he's a guy that he is who he is because of how he works and how he trains. So that's another guy that you use. Maybe he's maybe not logging as many snaps in the game, but a guy that's starting does some stuff for us in special time, starting to get some more reps on defense, and that's because of his work ethic. So because we're able to show, hey, this is actually what you thought you did and what you actually did maybe are two different things, but we can show you right here. Here are the numbers, and we're able to use that, and it's a pretty good tool for us.
You mentioned Caleb. He finally got home. I think it was the Northwestern game, and got a sack, and that. It seems like he's just a fraction away, a lot of different snaps.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun to be around. I think the guys know him. He's got such an outgoing personality. When you really get to know him, he's a lot of fun to be around. And he's a guy that he wants to be able to improve himself. I think he's another one that's kind of gone from the mode of, hey, I can show up and I'll get to the quarterback, to now going, all right, you need to really teach me how to get to the quarterback. And I think he's left a couple out there. He and I have had that conversation. A couple of sacks have been left on the table. Whether it's miscontained by a couple of steps, or come on a loop and just take it a little too wide instead of being more exact in his movements and being able to turn it almost into a sack. So I think once it tips for him, same kind of scenario. Once he starts putting those together, I think it's going to explode for him. He's got, I think, a great future as a pass rusher.
Does Payne work with you, or more does Coach Tuioti? How do you divvy up with Phil Darius?
No, there's no divvying with Phil Darius anymore. Phil Darius is with us all the time, and he's another one. Just you want to talk about a fun guy to be around, and that's part of what makes this job so great. I know that I'm very fortunate to be able to sit in this position and be able to be in the room with those guys. But he's another guy that he was more of an interior rusher when he first got here. With what how this defense has kind of grown, and I know that the Cornhusker fans are diligent enough to probably be able to see that on their own, but as we've grown kind of from the being more odd package to even package or 4-down package, to kind of flipping it the other way and now being more in the 4-down world, it's been a better fit for him to be on the edge. He's had a little bit of flash as far as making plays, but another guy that when he's in the game, you can see him, his motor goes and he's running, and it's a million miles an hour with him. Just a great guy to be around, and it's been a pretty good rotation with those guys.
Yeah. How much fun was it for you and the guys in your room the last 2 home games at night? It's pretty cool around here at night.
Well, I mean, for me, being a guy that grew up in New England and watching Cornhusker football from afar, even as maybe a young kid on a Saturday afternoon or a Saturday night watching, and I can remember being in my living room in Pepperell, Massachusetts, and seeing the catch happen. And I can still have that in my head. So, that's kind of when you're there in the Northeast, there's so many teams. There's more pro. And then there's a bunch of colleges, and maybe you're affiliated where your parents went, or somebody that went to one of the small schools. You may watch that. We're out here. The focus is on the Cornhuskers. I've always throughout my career, you've always wanted to be somewhere where it matters, and it doesn't matter more anywhere else than it does here. And the atmosphere the last 2 games has been just off the charts, and that's something that you work your career to be able to be a part of, and something that I know that I learned the lesson when I was a freshman in high school. My high school coach, Sandy Ruggles, cussed me out because he caught me kind of looking around at a varsity game, looking into the stands and taking it in. So from then on in, I was always very focused on keeping my eye on the field and the action as a player, no matter what sport, and then as a coach. And the older I get, the kind of more you realize, hey, you better take a look around and take some of this stuff in. And you're working hard to be able to be in this position, and it's been neat to see. It's been a great atmosphere. The fans here are just awesome.
Now, so the energy is obviously going to be there when you're at home and have that kind of rooting interest behind you. Now you got to go on the road at 11 a.m. game. Still got to try to generate the same kind of energy, don't you?
Yeah, well, I think that this is a hungry team that has been chasing the wins. We all know the coulda, woulda, shouldas, and things like that. So I expect these guys to be ramped up, ready to go, and this is a chance for us to compete, chance for us to continue to put ourselves on film. And you talked about that and brought that point up. Something that we talk about in our room as far as the outside backers go. That's you. You're on that videotape, film, however you want to call it, whatever generation, digitalized, whatever it is now. That's you forever. So the plays that you made, they're there forever. The plays that you didn't make, they're there forever. Especially now with everything streaming, and the clip is on Twitter or it's on whatever other means that it is to get out there. You better represent yourself and represent what you want to put on there and be exactly what you're doing. Don't miss any of those opportunities because you don't get them back. Just what I said earlier, this is a 12-game season that you have. If you miss one, I mean, you're missing a large chunk. So when you have an opportunity or a chance to make a play, you better be ready to go, and you better go make it.
Coach Dawson is with us, 402-413-2400, the number to dot us up with a comment or question, or you can fire off a text if you preferred that mode of communication. Let's go to the phones. We're going to actually go into Minnesota. Tim, you're up first tonight with Coach Dawson.
Hey, Coach. Got a few questions, most on special teams, but since you started off by talking about outside linebackers, the one thing, and I might have asked this before, but when it comes to mobile quarterbacks or even quarterbacks who are able to scramble, how does that work as far as just concerns about containing them? And then on special teams, on the fair catches, which have been an issue, it seems like, I don't know if you say catch-22, but always a dilemma about those, because you obviously don't want the ball to go, inside the 10 or anything like that. But at the same time, you certainly don't want to, have another fumble and give the team almost a free possession when you think of it. And also about I guess your thought about punting to one side or other. I was wondering about that as far as whether it helps to have more or have each side kind of equally covered, but I can maybe see how that spread you a little bit thin. But again, excited by what I've seen, and I'm confident you guys will get over the top. That'll be all.
Thank you. Three really good questions. Okay, so I'm going to start with probably work my way backwards. I think the last one was about the punt coverage.
Yeah.
I think that you see now a lot of directional punting, especially in college football. The NFL, they're not allowed to use the same shield system, what I would call the shield system as far as punt protection goes and punt coverage. So they're regulated by their rules, but in college football you see that a lot. So with that comes a lot more directional punting, trying to put the ball in a certain area and then maximizing your ability to go down there and cover that by understanding ahead of time where the ball is going to go and then trying to eliminate a large chunk of the field. So I think that's something that's fairly common. Now with that, your net, obviously you want to be able to maintain leverage on the ball all the time. I think that's a large part of the coverage piece of it. As far as catching the ball, there's no doubt that the number one job for the punt returner is to catch and secure the ball. You always want the whole and the most important part of that is finishing the down with the ball in your hands and not giving it back. As far as retreating to catch the ball, you have to be able to retreat, go backwards, or come up and catch a ball into traffic as a punt returner. Either one could be as equally as bad, right? So if you let the ball, if you're on the 20 or the 15-yard line, the ball goes over your head and it rolls down to the 1. That's a major flip of the field. So you want to be able to catch the ball so it doesn't go down and get down inside of the 10-yard line. A lot of people talk about the 10-yard line. When you're talking about that, you're talking about, well, we use the term dagger punts or going in punts, coffin corner they used to call it, when they try to catch you down inside the 20. I think a lot of teams, and go in the research on this one, when field turf became a part of the game, it changed the way that people look at that. It used to be on grass. Everyone put their heels at the 10-yard line. You never backed up in those dagger situations. Now everyone kind of gravitates more to about the 8-yard line, and really you kind of catch the ball as long as it's outside of the, maybe the 6-yard line. You always tell your child, hey, you got to take a step or two back to secure the ball for us because of the field turf. That's something that a lot of guys do. Obviously, if you're in danger or that you have to run to go get the ball, then you can't make a clean catch. You don't want to do that. So, with a chance of going ahead and muffing it, I think we all know that. And then the opposite of that would be a short kick where you got to run up into traffic and secure the ball. Big deal for that is that if the ball gets on the ground, it can roll for who knows how long. So we've seen balls roll for 30 yards. Securing against the ball is certainly a major part of it. Did I answer that, Greg?
Mobile quarterbacks.
I'm on to it next. I've been saving that one. That's the one I wanted to answer because I have more fun talking about pass rush than anything. But that's a great question. So to me, when you're rushing the quarterback, whether it's mobile or not, you have to be able to cage the quarterback. We talk about in a 4-man rush, you want 2 guys on either side of them, a contain rusher and a cage rusher inside. Really, that inside cage rusher is aiming for more his eyeball. The contain rushers are more for the ear hole. So you don't want to get up on top of the quarterback where you're past him. That's not containing him. There's 0 sacks that ever happen behind the quarterback. So you don't want to be up over the top. And what we talk about a lot in our room, at least I do, I guess, not we, is the B-gap step up. So when a quarterback, mobile or not, has an opportunity to use the B-gap step up, so one defensive end gets too high and maybe a defensive tackle doesn't push the pocket far enough, or a combination of the both, a throwing quarterback uses that window as a throwing lane. Now he has an easy throw with nothing in his eyes, nothing to throw over, and he's usually got a pretty good clear window to throw to a receiver. When it's a mobile quarterback, he's going to pull that ball down and take off and run. So both of those are easy yardage. So staying in front, keeping the quarterback contained, and then forcing the guy to stay in the pocket where you have an opportunity to get your hands up and bat a ball down, and also making it a more difficult throw to deliver the football. So that's a real big part. When you rush, everybody wants to rush fast. Everybody wants sacks. Everybody wants to come over the walls at the quarterback. You have to be able to do that as a 4-man group, all 4 guys rushing together. If one guy doesn't do his job, it doesn't matter if the other 3 guys had great rushes. You lose contain as an edge rusher, or you lose a step up as an inside rusher, and the quarterback takes off and scrambles, then we're not working together. So that's something that Coach Tulliotti and I work in tandem with. We spend a lot of time talking about that to the guys.
It doesn't look, the young guy we're going to see Saturday with Minnesota, we've seen him before. He's been there a couple years as their quarterback. I wouldn't characterize him as a runner, but he looks like he's athletic enough that he can go, if he gets flushed, he can go pick up a first down at least.
Yeah, Greg, I say all the time, maybe he's not a runner. I, once again, date myself. I always use Michael Vick as the guy that I grew up as a young coach. When I was a graduate assistant at Pitt, he was playing quarterback and at Virginia Tech in the Big East. We used to watch him play, and I would watch him pull the ball down and just score so fast it would make your head spin. And there's very few guys that are obviously like that, but you know what I'm talking about with the guys that can really run. And then there's guys that can run well enough. They pull it down, and you know what? If you are not disciplined in what you're doing, they're going to make you pay for it. And he does a nice job of running with the ball when he has it. He's savvy enough to be able to gain the yards. He does a good job of not trying to extend himself too much. He gets down when there's danger around him and things like that. So we got to do a good job forcing him to stay in the pocket and not give up easy yards. The scramble piece of it is easy yardage in my mind, and it's not even a designed run, and yet there your rushing yards come. So if you're giving up 50 yards a game in scrambles, that's going to be a long day, no matter how you're doing against the true run plays. So you have to do a good job keeping him in the pocket. At the same time, you have to keep him there and be able to rush him as well. So you can't just let him back there and just let him sit there and pat the ball all day long because he knows he isn't going to get anyone in the face. So it's a combination of rushing fast, going after a guy, but also being intelligent in what you're doing and how you're rushing him.
Tim, appreciate the call. He dialed us up on our Sports Nightly hotline, which is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Phone lines are open for you, 402-413-2400. Call or text, also up on our YouTube stream as well. We have a lot more with the coach coming up.
Experience the difference and shop Woodhouse Nissan first. We have the car, truck, or SUV that meets all of your needs. Shop the all-new 2022 Nissan Frontier. This midsize pickup has the tech and the rugged durability to take your adventures to new heights. Or discover the 2022 Nissan Armada. Whether it's a family day out or moving large items, the Armada has space to bring what you need. Call or visit us online today to schedule a test drive with Woodhouse Nissan.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Finally, it's time to tailgate, to find your spot in a sea of red, to get together with family and fans, and to share what makes Husker football season the best. This season, share Valentino's Tailgater tradition with their Big Red Double Jumbo deal and get 2 one-topping jumbo pizzas for only $17.79 each. Order yours at valentinos.com. Some restrictions apply. See store for details. Valentino's, the official pizza of the Huskers. Go Big Red.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up and back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You could win a 2021 Ford F-150 XL four-wheel drive Super Crew truck from the Woodhouse Auto family this season. If the Huskers return the first or second half opening kick for a touchdown, Woodhouse will give away an F-150. New contestants will be chosen each week. For details on how to enter the Woodhouse Auto Family Kickoff Contest and official rules, go to woodhousekickoff.com. That's woodhousekickoff.com.
Did you know that cigarette butts make up a large portion of microplastics in the ocean, which end up in 70% of seabirds and 30% of sea turtles? Bank of the West is helping to solve this problem by not financing big tobacco, proving that what a bank chooses not to finance can be just as important as what it does. Learn more about what we do and don't finance at bankofthewest.com/change. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's football season. Husker Nation and Famous Dave's is here to make your tailgate, house party, or get-together famous. Award-winning and house-smoked St. Louis-style ribs, Texas beef brisket, Georgia chopped pork, and house-made sides like our Wilbur beans, creamy coleslaw, and Dave's cheesy mac and cheese will surely tackle any barbecue craving. Visit famousdaves.com for all your catering and online ordering needs, or come visit us at our locations in Lincoln and Bellevue.
Successful farmers must make good decisions every day. In pivot irrigation, the choice is simple. T&L exclusive hydraulically powered pivot irrigation systems are like no other. You get tough, reliable, and cost-effective irrigation. Let T&L's 60 years of irrigation experience work for you. Call your local T&L dealer or T&L Irrigation Company today. T&L, like no other.
When you're ready to pursue a career-building college degree, go with the school you know and trust, the University of Nebraska. And if you need the flexibility, convenience, and affordability of an online degree program, you can go online with the University of Nebraska. With courses developed specifically for the online learner by our 4 regionally accredited NU campuses, it's a valuable online education for your very real-world future. Go to online.nebraska.edu to learn more.
Coming soon, Come and Go's fresh and flavorful new menu. Yeah, see if you can stop thinking about that. Come on, keep listening. Try to ignore it. You're thinking about it, aren't you? Come and Go's new menu is coming soon and is so delicious, it's distracting. Come and Go, a fresh perspective. Come and Go.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres Equipment, Nebraska's premier John Deere dealer. 27 locations across the state and into Kansas. Acres Solutions for every field. Mike Dawson with us tonight. It's our Nebraska Football Radar. Handles Huskers outside linebackers and special teams. Doug in Norfolk on our text line for you, Coach. When your guys are in pass coverage, are they taught to find their guy and play the man, or watch the ball and try to make a play on it?
That's a good question. Really, we have 2 schools of thought, to be honest. So both would be the answer, and that's not a cop-out. The way we kind of do it, and I think this is, most all the positions, but when you're in a position, when you're in man-to-man coverage and you have a guy that you're guarding, normally you look at the man, and then when he goes to make a play on the ball, then you react to him and play through the ball, take care of your coverage that way. When you're in a zone coverage, then your eyes are on the quarterback and on the ball. So when you're in zone coverage, you're kind of playing in between different players. You're seeing the ball, and then that's when you're breaking on the ball, making a play on the ball. So kind of we use both depending on whether we're in a man coverage or a zone coverage.
Very good. Dorothy Lynch, home style, light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities. Back to the phones we go. Let's go to Gretna and Tom. Good evening, Tom. You're up with Coach Dawson.
Hey, Coach. Just a couple questions. First of all, it's been great watching the defense. I haven't seen the defense play this well for several years. You guys are doing a great job. With all the close games that they've been playing, how's the team doing? Are they keeping their morale? Is it high? Or they're not getting beat down or anything?
No, Tom, I don't think so. These guys love being around each other. You can tell when guys genuinely like each other. You know, they hang around the training room a little bit longer, sit down, have meals together. You know, their interaction in the team room and things like that. You know, you can kind of see teams that kind of, you know, start to fracture or get cliquey or things like that. I don't see that happening with these guys. They like going out and being around each other and competing with each other. They're really pretty good in the locker room with each other. I don't see anything that would lead me to think that. I think that they're a pretty good spot where they are now. You know, the frustration can come out when you don't win. I think that's human nature. I kind of talked a little bit about it at the beginning of this deal with, you know, you pour so much into it, you want to see the fruits of your labor come through, and you want to get that goal accomplished. I know they want to win for each other, though, not just themselves. They want to win for the fans and the Cornhusker Nation here. So I think that they're staying true to each other and battling with each other, which is what you want to see, I think.
Yeah, we're all behind you. You go get them up in Minnesota.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it.
Tom, appreciate the call from up in Gretna on our text line. It's kind of a similar line. Sure would be nice to see us win these close games, but we are certainly seeing progress from the program. I'm concerned that this is our 8th game in a row in Minnesota coming off of a bye. Your thoughts about that?
Yeah, the schedules are the schedules. I mean, every year you kind of end up in some wacky situation somewhere along the line. And, you know, you could look at it, you know, we have 2 more games under our belt, a little bit more experience, a little bit more playing time, you know, and then vice versa. So, you know, it's all a matter of how you want to look at it. You know, I know our guys, and, you know, you have 8 in a row. No, it doesn't matter. No one cares. You know, that you put the ball down. We say all the time, you want to play anybody, anywhere, anytime. And you know, when these guys all started playing football when they were little kids, they wanted to play because it was fun. You were out in the parking lot or the street or the playground or the ball field or wherever you were, and somehow you get involved in this deal. And I think these guys love playing. So. You know, they got to be ready to go, and when we kick the ball off or receive it at 11 a.m. up there, we better be ready to strap it up. It's going to be a big physical team that we're playing against, and you know, it's going to come down to you know, guys lining up from across from each other and who's going to whip who. So our guys know that, and we need to get up there and have the right mentality and get after these guys from the beginning.
How well did your group get treated by the training staff and by the strength and conditioning coaches and rehabbing and getting their bodies ready to go again another game?
I think that's something that the guys have to be consistent with all year long. The technology and the way the game's changed. You know, I think we all. You know, a couple years ago, they had the Junction Boys was on, you know, one of the streamers or whatever, and everybody kind of, you know, no water, and you know, you're not allowed to drink water. And now we know that, you know, we want them to drink as much water as possible. You know, so with that, and you kind of learn about the science part about it, and everybody's the hot topic is sports science, right? What do you learn from sports science? So. I love that aspect of it. I learned a lot about it when I was in Philadelphia. The head coach at the time, Chip Kelly, was a big believer in it, and I didn't know much about it. And then being able to be around some of the best in the business at what they do as far as that stuff goes was really eye-opening for me. So to me, there's a lot that goes into it besides showing up, lifting weights, going out, hitting the practice field, going back in, taking a shower, and then going to class. This day and age, you have so much opportunities to be able to recover, to be able to go ahead and get your body. They have different types of massages and pads and boots they put on their legs and different things like that, along with knowing now what's the correct nutrition, what's the correct fuel to put in your body, what are the correct you know, supplements that you need, whether it's you need more things to make you more hydrated, or you need to have different food or whatever it is. And then the big one that always you know, really hit me when I learned more about it was sleep, and what a big factor that is, and how your body recovers while you're asleep, and not only when you sleep, how long you sleep, and also what time you sleep. So for the guys got to own that piece a little bit too. So we have great resources here, second to none. Our training staff, our strength staff, I think they're the best that I've been around. So for me, all that stuff is there for the guys, and then we have there's time in the day we practice. I think that everybody knows we practice in the morning. The guys have school to take care of in the afternoon, but also there's a lot of time in there to be able to get in the cold tub or the hot tub, or depending on your injury or your ailment, whatever Mark and the training staff think is the best thing for you, to be able to go ahead and do that. So So the guys got to stay on top of that, whether you're playing 8 games in a row or whether you're during training camp or it's the second game of the season or the 11th game of the season. So you got to be mindful of that nowadays because everybody's doing it. So to be able to keep up and maximize your ability, you want to be able to play the best that you can. You got to put that piece of it into the game as well.
Your facilities are really good. Wait till this thing gets built.
We
right?
look out the window every day and see that, and wonder what what are they working on now, and what's that going to turn into. And it's really neat for a guy like me to see. You kind of see the different vehicles and huge cranes that they have, and the amount of dirt that they move every day, and you kind of walk by the window there, and it's really the one time we see it when you're walking in and out of the staff locker room. There's a little tiny window there that overlooks it, so you see it kind of in the morning when you're heading out, and then usually it's dark, I guess, by the time we leave. But you get to see, hey, this is what they worked on, this is what they did. It's going to be awesome.
And the kids you're bringing on campus now for recruiting, they're going to use that.
Well, I think that it's a big difference when you have I've been in programs where, hey, we're going to build this in the future, and when you are here, it's going to be getting built, and you see the renderings, right? That was always a big recruiting tool, the renderings, whether it was the new building or the new field or the new stadium or whatever the new thing was, wherever I was at the time, and be able to come and have the guys out there, and they can see that, oh, no, that's not something that they're talking about doing. They're doing it, and it's going to be there, and the guys that we're recruiting now they're going to get the main burst of it. So, it'll be something that they'll walk into, and it's going to it'll be a big impact. The recruiting race and the facilities, they matter. There's a lot of great stuff out there, and there's a lot of places that have a lot of neat stuff, and it's almost like an arms race where you're trying to keep up, and it matters, and it makes a big difference, and be able to have something like this to look forward to getting into is really special.
That'd be cool. All right, phone lines are open, 402-413-2400. We're back with more with the coach next.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. The Rural Fellows Program doubled their average number of participating students this year, putting UNL student interns to work in 17 Nebraska communities for the summer. Interns use their skills to get real-world experience on a variety of projects, from mapping out trail systems to creating promotional videos to researching and documenting local history.
Today's play of the day comes from Nebraska. We pick it up with the local sports announcer at a Nebraska lottery retailer.
Dave enters the store. He makes a move to the checkout counter. Looks like he's going to pass. Yes, he's passing the clerk a few dollars. The clerk takes the handoff and spins around. It looks like he's placed the scratch tickets on the counter, and now Dave has them in his hand. It's the old Scratch-a-rooski. He scratches left. He scratches right. Oh, my! He's done it! Dave has scored a bundle of cash.
Play is good. Go play. Odds vary by game.
Don't let the cold winter worry you. As Nebraska's leading supplier of propane, you can count on Sapp Brothers to keep your family warm this winter. You're like family, and your safety is the #1 priority of Sapp Brothers. When it comes to your propane needs, Sapp Brothers has you covered. Visit www.sappbros.net/petroleum to find your local Sapp Brothers propane expert. Celebrating 50 years of fueling America's heartland and welcoming guests, Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
It's football season. Husker Nation and Famous Dave's is here to make your tailgate, house party, or get-together famous. Award-winning and house-smoked St. Louis-style ribs, Texas beef brisket, Georgia chopped pork, and house-made sides like our Wilbur beans, creamy coleslaw, and Dave's cheesy mac and cheese will surely tackle any barbecue craving. Visit famousdaves.com for all your catering and online ordering needs, or come visit us at our locations in Lincoln and Bellevue.
What is highbid.com? It's the online auction site for just about everything under the sun. Art and antiques, cars and coins, office equipment and furniture, toys and tools. You can find it all at highbid.com. Highbid.com gives you access to thousands of auctions across the USA and around the world. Browse the most popular auctions, search for the exact item you want, or just explore the site. Go to highbid.com. That's HIBID.com and find what you're looking for today.
At Subaru, they love building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The redesigned 2021 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. An upgrade in horsepower means you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru. Visit DeToe Subaru at 27th Street and Jamie Lane in Lincoln or at DeToeSubaru.com. Upgraded horsepower available on select models.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Between 6 and 8 million Americans meet the criteria for gambling addiction, and many more are affected by another person's gambling problem. Problem gambling is not a bad habit or a moral weakness. It is a serious disorder. With help, problem gamblers can make decisions to improve their lives. If you or someone you love has a gambling problem, contact Choices Treatment Center in Lincoln. For more information, go to the website choicestreatmentcenter.com or problemgambling.nebraska.gov. Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red. Hey, Husker fans, if you're looking for an exciting new career as part of your pandemic recovery, Iowa has over 75,000 job openings in industries such as healthcare, advanced manufacturing, construction, IT, and ag. IowaWorks.gov has more information about job openings, earn while you learn apprenticeships, and exciting training and scholarship opportunities. Find your next great job in Iowa. They've got a solid game plan, a bright future, and want you on their team. www.iowaworks.gov.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Much like the values of the people of Nebraska, Nebraska Realty was built on the principles of hard work, dedication, and doing things the right way. They believe strongly in the power of creating lasting relationships and the value those relationships hold. Their success is based on trust and the relationships created with the people and communities they serve across the state of Nebraska. There really is no place like Nebraska Realty.
Hello, I'm Tom Osborne.
And I'm Coach Frost.
Statistics prove that youth who are mentored and receive support and guidance from a caring adult show measurable improvement in academic achievement, motivation to succeed, and hope.
Over the past 30 years, Teammates has served more than 43,000 youth, and right now there are more than 1,000 waiting for a Teammates mentor to visit with them once a week in school.
For more information on how you can help the Teammates Mentoring Program, please go to teammates.org, and thank you for supporting our youth.
Sponsored by Nebraska Crossing Fast Cash app.
This season, share Valentino's tailgater tradition with our Big Red Double Jumbo deal and get 2 one-topping jumbo pizzas for only $17.79 each. Order yours online at valentinos.com. Valentino's, they are the official pizza of the Huskers. Go Big Red. Greg Sharpe back with you. It's our Nebraska Football Hour. Delighted to have Mike Dawson with us for a couple of more minutes to the top of the hour. You ready for more calls?
Yes, sir.
You good? Let's go to Hawaii next. I'd like to be out there. Sam, welcome on board.
Hi, thank you very much for taking my call. I'm really curious about this targeting business, Coach. I just would like to know. I know they're looking at it, trying to change the rules and everything. When I played football for Bob Devaney, we were taught to stick block and stick tackle, put your face in the numbers and drive on. But of course, that'll get you thrown out of the game right now. Bring me back to the 21st century, will you?
Yeah, that's a great point. The game has changed so much. Even in the last 15 years, I'd even say. There's you see some of the, for me, I see some of the highlights when I came here, especially 2 years ago, some from those dominant 90s black shirts teams that you had some great defensive highlights. You just see guys just taking people's heads off. Some literally, end up with the other guy's helmet in their hand at the end of the play. But stuff like that. Now, what used to be a highlight film hit is a penalty. So the way that I try to explain it to the guys, if you hit an opponent in the head with any part of your body, that's going to be a penalty, especially when you're rushing the quarterback. When it's the quarterback, you can't mess around with that, hitting him in the head. If you use your head to hit him, that's generally going to be a penalty. So when you're tackling, in particular, let's talk about a linebacker tackling a running back. So the way that we tell it is we want them to keep their face and their eyes up. So when you drive through your tackle, you finish with your eyeballs looking up through your eyebrows, and then really you're hitting more with the top of your numbers than you are your head to try to keep your head out of it. Don't target their head and keep your head out of the tackle. That's kind of the way that we've tried to get the rules for the guys. Used to be, I remember getting taught, get your head across the bow, head between the runner and the goal line, and it was all about keeping your head, involved in the tackle. Now we kind of go the opposite way. Keep your head out of it. Keep the guys safe. We use a lot. Some guys call it rugby tackle, and you use those type of things where now maybe your head's behind and you're using a wrap and roll tackle. In the box, you still got to be able to knock a guy backwards and drive him back. We call that a drive for 5 tackle. Sink your hips, shoot your eyes through, keep your elbows from your rib cage through his rib cage, and run your feet on the tackle.
Well, that'll twist my head around. Thank you very, very much.
Too much information, Sam. Hey, I wish we go back to your way. Just smash people.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Good luck. Good luck this weekend. Go get them Gophers.
Thank you, sir.
Sam, appreciate the call from Hawaii. Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free. It's easy. It's the law. Mark, on our text line, Coach, can guys develop a new move to pressure the quarterback? Do you have any examples of that?
Yeah, I think the guys, as far as developing moves, you can develop a guy with pass rush moves to be able to get to the quarterback, but you also got to be able to have a plan. You can't go into a pass rush saying, hey, I'm going to hit this specific move on a guy without knowing what the offensive lineman's going to give you. So there's a little bit of a chess match going on between pass rushers and offensive linemen. You can certainly, for me, I'm a guy that believes on figuring out what you do well. And then really working to practice that. A guy, Dwight Freeney's a guy that when I first started coaching, I studied a lot, and he had a great speed rush that he would hit. And then when guys would overset him because they were so afraid of the speed, his counterback was a spin move. I think that was pretty well documented, throughout his career. And those were two lethal weapons that he had that were really difficult to stop. And obviously there were different other things that went into it. And I don't mean to dumb that piece of it down, but if you can go ahead and have a plan and have an idea of what you want to hit with your specific pass rush, and then when the offensive lineman, I think for me, always pass rushes always start with speed. If you can, you're running forward, and an offensive lineman is kick sliding, almost running backwards, and he's usually, a bigger guy than you, and you're usually a little faster than he is. So if you can hit him with a speed rush, that's always where you want to start. When you look at sacks that happen, whether it's in the Big Ten or the NFL, there's more sacks that happen off of some sort of speed rush than any other type of rush. And then from there, if you cannot get to the hip of an offensive lineman or get to his edge, some people say, then you got to be able to have a power move that converts back, whether it's shooting a long arm for an edge guy or using a bull rush for an interior guy. And then if you can get a guy moving, whatever your counter move is, Dwight Freeney, I said, was a spin move. Some guys like an up and under move, or I call it a shot put, where you throw the guy, try to work to throw through the inside number and get back up underneath the guy. So you can have a menu for each one of those, but at the same time, if you're a guy that isn't a very good spinner, you don't want the spin move to be your secondary move. So you better have a move that works for you and something that you can get good at.
Mark, appreciate the text. Need to take a break. 402-413-2400. We're back to wrap it up with the coach next.
Inspired by the legendary coach Tom Osborne, Nebraska Athletics is proud to introduce the 255 collection. With the mission to connect style with Nebraska pride, 255 was designed with the fan in mind. With high quality at the forefront, 255 can be worn anywhere, from sporting events and business meetings to backyard get-togethers. No matter the occasion, 255 is about feeling confident, looking good, and celebrating the remarkable coaching career of Tom Osborne. Shop now at Huskers.com or participating retailers. For more information, visit Huskers.com/255.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractor chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Valley 365 is here, and the time is now to take your farming technology full circle. Valley 365 is the ultimate command center, the new single sign-on platform that brings together our tried and true technology and streamlines your entire operation. Combining the best features of AgSense, Valley Scheduling, Valley VRI, and Valley Insights, Valley 365 is the next level solution for connected crop management. Leverage your data, make the most of your time, and own your tomorrow. Contact your Valley dealer today.
Pivot control has never been easier. T&L Irrigation now offers a new control panel called Precision Point Touch. It's a full-color 7-inch graphic touchscreen that's easy to use and gives you lots of great tools to make your irrigation faster and more efficient. Set up your pivots the way you want. You can update your older controls to the new Precision Point control panel too. Call your local T&L dealer or visit TLIRR.com. T&L Irrigation, like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. UNL has been named one of the best schools for veterans for the 5th year in a row. The ranking on the Military Times Best for Vets survey reflects the hard work of Nebraska's Military and Veteran Success Center, serving military dependents, veterans, National Guard members, active duty troops, and many Husker students in the reserves.
Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Just a couple of minutes left with Coach Dawson. We do have a text for you. Coach wanted to know how Iowa was able to get their tight ends open on 3rd and long last week.
Yeah, last week there was a couple deals with the tight end. I know that one of the coverages on the early on 3rd down, we had a bust and he was free. So that was a mistake there. And they also had converted on a throw underneath. I know that happened. We were in a zone coverage, so he was underneath the in the zone coverage. Normally you break it from deep to short. You want to be able to play the guard against the deeper throws into the shorter throws, but you got to do it with good timing and good leverage. So was able to get free on a couple of those. So probably a couple different combinations of things, and good players did a nice job. They had 3 really good tight ends, and those guys do a good job using those guys in that package.
Yeah. A couple of those, and they ended up not scoring on those drives, so it wasn't just
once again, a lot of good weapons. You're going to find that throughout the league. Whoever you're playing against, they have some pretty good guys to go to, and Michigan's no exception. And those tight ends, again, I was I don't like to brag, Greg, but I was a tight end in high school. I wasn't good looking enough to stay on offense when I got to college, but I was a wishbone tight end, so more of an offensive lineman than anything else. But
most people don't even know what the wishbone is anymore, Coach. I forgot what that is.
Absolutely.
I've saved the toughest question for the last. Red Sox Astros. What do you got?
Oh, Greg, I'm a diehard 46-year-old Red Sox fan. I don't know if that was a layup or not, but my mother had a picture of me sitting in the doghouse when I was about 1 or 2 with a Red Sox hat on. So for me, that's my leisure is watching the Red Sox. Huge Red Sox fan, so I'm gonna go heavy up on the Red Sox. Definitely,
I think
for sure.
Starts Saturday, I think.
Friday, Greg.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure.
You may
correct me wrong. Yeah, well, we got more important business to take care of this weekend, but I'll be cheering for those guys in silence. So
good luck.
Hopefully those guys can get a W also.
Let's go get a win on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Greg. I appreciate you having me.
Mike Dawson, great stuff for the last hour. Hope everybody enjoyed that. Huskers and Gophers, 11 a.m. on Saturday. Our pregame coverage begins at 7 with Husker Game Day. That'll do it for the show tonight. Thanks.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hello, I'm Tom Osborne.
And I'm Coach Frost.
Statistics prove that youth who are mentored and receive support and guidance from a caring adult show measurable improvement in academic achievement, motivation to succeed, and hope.
Over the past 30 years, Teammates has served more than 43,000 youth, and right now there are more than 1,000 waiting for a Teammates mentor to visit with them once a week in school.
For more information on how you can help the Teammates Mentoring Program, please go to teammates.org, and thank you for supporting our youth.
Sponsored by Nebraska Crossing Fast Cash app. Addie's Sports Bar and Grill is the place to watch Nebraska games this season. Locally owned and operated, Addie's is Omaha's premier sports bar with 4 locations in Elkhorn, Maple Street, Millard, and a new flagship Capitol location in downtown Omaha. If it's Husker game day, it's on at Addie's. Addie's Sports Bar and Grill is Omaha's official watch party spot with game day giveaways, prizes, fun, and more surprises later in the season. Addie's Sports Bar and Grill. See you there for the game.
Score a game-winning drive when you buy your next vehicle at Sid Dillon Chevrolet. As a Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles, including medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Whatever vehicle fits your needs, we're here to make the purchase process easy. Visit our Chevy locations in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo. Plus, shop our full inventory at SidDillonChevy.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
Whew. Sometimes being an office printer feels like I'm competing in an Olympic sport. Thankfully, I have Marco's Managed Print Services on my team. Marco's game plan helps me make big plays while saving big bucks. And Marco's lightning fast tech support gets me back in the game fast. I'm up. Find out what your printers could be saying with Marco's Managed Print Services at marconet.com.